Recording is started. You're good to go.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, Bill. Welcome, everybody, to the September 13th edition of the Building Membership Council Governing Committee meeting. I just want to thank everybody for making it here, taking time out of your day. I know this is a busy time of year, a lot of groups getting together, code committee or chapters and everything, having their annual conferences. So just appreciate everybody taking some time, and then obviously, contractors trying to get footings into the ground before it does start to get cold. So thanks everybody for being here. We do have a guest speaker that we'll get to in a few minutes. So thanks to Stella for being available for us today, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's start with some roll call then, Bill.
Sure. Thank you, Ed. And so I've kind of captured everybody who's coming in as we speak to save a little bit of time here. The people that I don't have from the governing committee would be Dan Dockery, which we know has been excused with an issue. Jim Williamette, I don't see Jim. Doug Wise or Robin Yoakum. Chris McWhite as well. Chris, I think, is going to join late. So with that, we definitely have a quorum. 9, Tom Allen just joined, so we're good. We'll go with that, and I'll capture board of directors as we get into that report, Ed, coming up. But we're good for now. Staff is myself, and I don't know if the other, and Stella, of course.
And Gary.
And Gary, yes, my bad, yes. So I got 3 staff, and we'll go from there. I'll just start capturing people as they join, but we'll let you go forward, Ed, with we do have a quorum and we're good to go. Move on.
All right, sounds good. We'll move on to the governing committee members' time. I don't know if anybody from the governing committee, the non-governing committee members and board members, we'll get to you guys in a little bit, but anybody from the governing committee have anything that they wanted to, topics they wanted to bring up, anything that they wanted to put onto a future agenda, anything like that, any member time issue from governing committee members? Seeing and hearing none. And yeah, if you do want to speak or anything, just raise your hand. But with that, we'll move on to number 3 then. Any announcements, changes, or adjustments to the agenda? Does anybody have any? All right, seeing none on that as well. We'll move on to the approval of the July 12th meeting minutes. Obviously, as Bill mentions each time, he sends these out. He sends out the minutes, but also there is the clickable link on the agendas, so you can click back to that. It'll take you out to the video recording, and does a great job with that. The actual written out minutes has timestamps on there to that recording, so you can easily jump back and find an issue or find a topic if you're looking for something. But with that, is there any discussion on the minutes? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to accept those.
Motion.
Tom Allen move to accept.
And a second?
Brian Bishop, second.
All right. Did anybody have any adjustments, changes, comments, questions?
I just have a correction request.
Sure.
There's an extra A in my name, that's all. Thank you.
We will get that spelling corrected. I hope. You got that, Bill?
I do, thank you.
All right.
Apologies, Miranda.
All right. With that, all those in favor of approving the minutes with that one spelling correction, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right. The minutes are approved. With that, we do have a special presentation today. We're always looking for topics that are interesting and timely, especially to building departments out there. So obviously if you haven't heard of BRIC funding and CDBG funding and things like that, you have not been paying attention to any of the ICC emails or anything like that. So it's definitely a topic that's been out there. Stella Carr is joining us from ICC. She's actually got a really nice presentation coming up at the ABM that'll dive into this stuff a little bit more. But we had asked her to come on here just to kind of give us a little preview about, some of the, just kind of hit the highlights of it, give everybody a little bit of a taste for what's coming at the ABM and what's coming in some of these topics, and hopefully get if you want to learn more, definitely attend her class at the ABM, or obviously reach out to any of your GR reps. But I'm probably stealing some of her thunder, so I'll turn it over to Stella, and welcome.
Thanks, Ed, and thanks to this committee for having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm just going to share my screen so y'all can see my presentation. All right, someone give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Okay, great. Well, I appreciate the introduction, Ed. It was definitely a bit of stealing my thunder, but I hope to share a lot more information with you all. I'm Stella Carr, the Energy and Resilience Project Manager at ICC. For those of you that haven't met me yet or haven't received any emails or anything from me about the grants, and I have been with ICC almost a year now and currently live in New York. So if anyone's in the area, hello. But part of the work I do at ICC is helping to educate members about the federal grant opportunities and help them to be best prepared to apply and help, with applications and developing projects to take advantage of federal funding. And you might be wondering, you're buried in building code issues and managing your communities. Why do grants matter? What does this have to do with your day-to-day? But members, of ICC need to have training. They need to stay up to that, and it costs money, and grants are a way that you can help to fund that. Your communities probably need to be adopting a new code update or help with enforcement and inspection activities. There might be staffing challenges, different things that you need to do within your building departments that, again, have a price tag, and sometimes it's hard to get that funding. And thankfully, there's a lot of grant opportunities through different agencies available right now that will help meet some of those demands and fill in the gaps where your budgets or communities, may not be able to help you deliver all the goals and grand ideas that you may have for taking your communities to make them more safe and resilient against disasters. And so that's really why I'm here to help you and all members of ICC take advantage of those opportunities. There's a number of federal funding streams, currently available through different agencies such as the Department of Energy, the Federal Emergency Management Association, or FEMA, and Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. A few of the programs that we have, at least since I've been here in the last year, been successful in working with members on applications has been with the Resilient Energy Code Implementation Program. And that application cycle opened last December, and the awards were announced earlier this summer. I believe it was in June. And those projects are set to begin, some of them in October and most of them in January 2024. So there will be another round of funding for the RECCE program, which will open up this winter, presumably. And there's 3 years of funding available going forward for that program. And then through the IRA, there's additional funding that DOE has yet to release a notice of funding opportunity for, which has a less catchy name of the Assistance for Latest and Zero Building Energy Code Adoption. Hopefully they can come up with a good acronym for that one. And so we're waiting eagerly for more information on that program, which will be more so focused on 2021 IECC or stretch codes that go beyond that. So if your community is interested in that, it's something to keep your eyes out for. And then FEMA's BRIC program will be coming up available for this next cycle for fiscal year 2023, hopefully within the next month. They've been eagerly waiting this fall for that announcement, but there's, some other disaster funding issues going on right now. So there's been a lot of successful examples of BRIC programs, some of which we highlighted in our webinar last year. So if you're interested in learning more about what some of the programs you could do for BRIC and how you could be prepared for that application cycle, which will be coming up soon. That one's more if you're, less so focused on energy code projects right now and more so looking to do something with training or building department accreditation or more general code update. And then HUD has programs through CDBG, through the disaster recovery and the disaster mitigation program, if your communities are eligible for that through a disaster declaration. Right now, I believe most communities are still eligible because of COVID-19 was a disaster that all states fell under, but eventually that will expire and then it will depend on, what disasters have been more recently declared in your communities. The Department of Energy, as I said, covers some of these. So I kind of already went into some of the information for the RECCE program, but here's just another kind of snapshot of that. I just want to make sure we can cover everything. So there should be a copy of this presentation we can share with you too, so you can see some of the numbers and information about the programs that are coming up with these. And DRRA or 1206 is also another FEMA program which can be used for building code administration, code enforcement, and other code related projects. And then same with BRIC, that one will be, there's some of the funding numbers aren't yet released because it depends on this next notice of funding. So again, we're still waiting for that. So typically the program should stay mostly the same as it has been in last year, just some of the funding numbers change depending on how much money is in that post-disaster funding pool. And then same for HUD, I'll just skip through this, but getting to the good stuff, how we can help you. So one of the things that I can help do is provide, as I mentioned, successful applications from projects that we've done in the past. And if you know of any yourselves that we maybe don't know about, we're always looking for more examples of that so we can help share with our members. We can help support project development, so connecting you with other partners if there are certain materials or resources you need, help understanding how much some of our services at ICC cost, so you can build that into your project proposal. I can help, and our GR staff can help you to get quotes for those services. We can also be a partner on grants. So with some of the projects, ICC can be an applicant, but a lot of the projects, the state or local government has to be the applicant. So we can help you, support you in that, not only developing that project, but being a partner in, implementing what you're trying to accomplish within your community, whether that's developing software, or I can share on the next slide some other examples of that. But and we can also help connect you with further resources on how to prepare for the process. So as Ed mentioned, at this year's annual conference, we're going to be launching a training that is grant basics for code officials. So today I'm just kind of skimming over some of the different programs and some of the services we have, but obviously the grant application process is a beast of a thing, and each agency has their own way of doing things. And so we've developed a training that I'll be delivering to help cover, some of the basic skills and things that you should keep in mind as you prepare for applying for these grants, and, touch a little bit upon some of the programs as we're doing here today. But some of the projects that, if you're thinking about doing this in your community, would be a good thing to look at grant funding, are here on this slide. So as I mentioned, if you're looking to adopt a new code or get building department accreditation, do some sort of training or education workforce development program for your community. And also, maybe there's something more creative that we haven't seen done yet that you're thinking about doing, and we'd be happy to brainstorm with you on that. If you aren't already getting the monthly grant emails that come from me about the middle of the month, there'll be another one coming out here in just a week or so. You can scan this code here and you can sign up to receive those emails to stay up to date on any of the webinars or educational materials that we'll have out there, as well as dates and deadlines about upcoming grant programs and other materials on our grant programs that we're helping with members. So be sure to check those emails if you aren't already. And then we also have our website. I think this was from the BRIC one, but if you go to iccsafe.org/federal grants, you can learn about all the programs that we help with. And then, there's some articles and different things on our BSJ. And just in general, if you aren't already connected to ICC on our many channels, you're welcome to do that. So I'm happy to answer any questions now, but didn't want to take up too much time from you all today, and look forward to connecting with you. Additionally, if you, feel free to email me here, or you can email my personal email address, but we also have on our website a scheduling link. So if you're, looking into stuff and you're curious about talking through some next steps, you can use that link to schedule a meeting with me and talk more about this. Or if you have a good relationship with your GR rep, feel free to reach out to them and we can schedule a call amongst us. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stella, for that. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none. Anybody at all? Any questions on, any of these programs, I guess? Anything about the ABM program? I guess you covered it all, Stella. You had that QR code up for people. Can you send just that over to Bill, and then he could maybe send, email that out to the group in case they didn't catch it in time?
Yeah, I think I have that, Stella, on the slide deck, so I can
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I can capture that and get that out to everybody. Unless maybe you can grab it. Can you stick it in the chat, maybe, Stella?
Yeah, let me try that. And if not, we can email it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Perfect. And obviously, too, if anybody does have any questions, reach out to Stella, reach out to your GR rep, you can reach out to Bill as well, or anybody here, and we can certainly get you hooked up with all that. So, all right, seeing no other.
Yeah, and I just would reiterate that your GR rep is going to be key here, folks. Please reach out to us, whomever your GR rep is within your state or area, because we can get you directly with Stella. Many of you already have, so I give you credit on that. But it's not so much you all people that I worry about, because I know you all are in tune to this. It's the people that sit outside of your that can't get on this call, can't get on the calls, but they still have an interest and a need for this. So please let us help you. And Stella has been tremendous, at least in the New England region. I think we can attest to some of the great stuff that we've been able to do with some of these groups. So please, need to ask. Thank you.
Yep, and I do see that QR code is in the chat, so feel free to
good
use that. So perfect, excellent. Well, thanks for coming by, and I'm sure we'll all run into you at the ABM as well. So thanks for being here for that.
Stop me and introduce yourselves if you see me. So look forward to meeting some of you there soon.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, and like Bill said, obviously take this stuff, share it around with, back at your chapters, share it around with anybody. If you're at a chapter meeting, at a conference, anything like that, somebody talks about, I wish I had money to buy new code books, do some energy code training, things like that. Definitely pass along this info. That's why we send this out to you guys. So, all right. Moving on, then we will go on to the non-BMC GC member time or guest time. So this is opportunity for anybody who's not a member of the Building Membership Council Governing Committee who would like to address us, bring up any topics that you'd like to see us discuss at a future meeting. Do any future trainings on anything like that, future topics for speakers. All that type of stuff, this is the opportunity for anybody out there to, oh boy, we're getting people lined up now, man. And but yeah, this is the opportunity for you guys to sort of address the group here and bring up stuff for us to discuss in the future. Again, use that raise hand feature And it looks like Allison is first up.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring up really quickly, I know in the past, ELMC, BMC, Sustainability have worked together with our nominating to kind of get, if people had multiple interests, get the right folks in the right chairs, for lack of a better term. So I didn't know, I just want to put that out on the radar, if we'll be doing that again this year. Doesn't have to be a topic for this meeting, just a question afterwards.
Yeah, and I know for the BMC GC, we're going to talk about our nominating committee and some things like that coming up in a few minutes here. But yeah, I guess I haven't heard anything from sustainability yet if they were going to do anything. But yep, definitely. Thanks, Allison.
And if you want me to briefly touch on that, waiting on sustainability, much of this information just came out, and we're working internally with staff to do exactly that, Allison. So like we did last year. So, but sustainability is on it. ELMC staff liaisons are just getting their hands on these documents, and there's an awful lot this year. So, which is a good sign. And we can talk more about that in a bit. But yeah, thank you for bringing it up. We'll talk more shortly.
Yep. Thanks, Bill. Director Sagers, you're up.
Yes, thank you. I really don't have anything, but I need to duck out. So I wanted to say hello and goodbye, and thank you guys for all the good work you're doing, and we'll see you all in St. Louis.
Excellent. I appreciate you saying hi and being on here for a few minutes at least, and good to see you. All right. We will, next up then is Robert Sullivan. You're up.
Hey everybody, I actually go by Bob, and that's part of why I'm here today, is to say hello and introduce myself to the group. I'm Bob Sullivan. I'm the Southwest Regional Director with NFPA. My region includes mostly from Missouri out to California, and I'm based in the Denver, Colorado area. I also regularly attend the Fire Service Membership Council meetings, and I now hope to be attending the Building Membership Council also, and I'll also be at the ABM in St. Louis, so I'll see many of you there. But basically, I just wanted to say hello. Happy to be here as an NFPA resource for everybody and offer any assistance that we can. Of course, there's about 60 some NFPA standards referenced in the building code, and almost 100 of them referenced in the fire code. So here to help with any of that stuff and any other NFPA information or resources needed. So thanks. Just wanted to say hi.
Excellent. Thanks for reaching out, saying hi. Actually, if you don't mind, maybe drop your name, contact info in the chat, just in case anybody is like, hey, I would love to reach out to NFPA in my region here and talk to them about something. Yeah, that might help somebody out here.
Sure, I'll do that. And then I'll also throw in a link. There's a page on our website that has all the regional directors listed for the whole country. So I'll put that in there also. Yep. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Bob. And I'll call you Bob from now on instead of Robert. So there you go.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Not GMC or not BMC GC members or GMC members. If you work at GMC, feel free to chat in, I guess, but you guys know what I mean. All right, seeing no other hands getting raised, we will move on then to the reports. Chairman's report. I really don't have much. Just again, just thank everybody for all the hard work that they're doing. I know, finding an hour and a half, this time of year, like I said, I know everybody's busy. Plan reviews are fine, flying in out, through the door, and everybody's trying to get footings in the ground before the snow starts flying, at least up here in Wisconsin. So I really appreciate you guys taking some time and being able to come in here. Also, just very excited to see everybody in another month here at the ABM. So hopefully we can all make it and have another great event there as well. And we'll talk about the ABM a little bit more here in a minute, but yeah, just wanted to thank everybody for being here. I'll keep it short and sweet because we got a lot to still cover. So With that, I'll pass it over to Mark for a vice chair report.
Terrific. Thanks, Ed. Good afternoon, everyone. And I think it is always afternoon. Yeah. And yeah, so great. I will keep it short as well. Very much looking forward to next month. It's so quick. It's literally just weeks away. So that's great. I will throw out a redundant, well, this time is a challenge. We have a fair amount of spots that are going to be available for the GC. And so we'll have a whole new group of people coming in. And if you want the best seats of the subcommittees, get yourself involved in the subcommittees, because this new group of people might find a better seat in that subcommittee. And you may be like the second or third one down now. So if you're not doing something, I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. Everybody's doing something. If you're not focused or specific on something that we have within the BMC, please do. And I honestly, I challenge you to have yourself set up within a subcommittee or a task or a responsibility by the ABM. That way you get the best seat. And then when the new people come in, you can tell them what to do. So once again, great work, everybody. I love to see the engagement that we already have and the momentum. So let's keep it up. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Mark. All right, we will move on to the Board of Directors Liaison Report, and I do see Director Hampton is here. So, Ron, we'll turn it over to you for a few minutes here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few minutes. We all get the GR report, thanks to our great GR staff. Of course, the biggest thing coming up is the ABM, and that'll be here before we know it. I know you're probably going to hit on this later, but we need to reflect that we got to man that booth for the membership councils, and I've only seen a few that I've been copied on. I think Tom Allen was one of them that has volunteered their time to man those booths. So our membership councils are very important to us, and as we spoke in our July board meeting, you know, you're the 10% that does the work, and the 90% are just along for the ride, and you're the backbone of this organization. And I'm very proud to come from this specific governing committee, and you do great work. We're here to support you. There's plenty of other board members on the call. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to hang on a few minutes, and then I've got another engagement. Thank you once again. Hope to see everybody in St. Louis. Be safe.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And yes, yeah, we will definitely talk about that booth. And I know we've gotten a few other people that are volunteered for that, but yes, we'll touch on that in a minute. Are there other ICC Board of Directors who wish to have anything to add or any other comments? I see I think at least 3 other board members on here. Director Bredmore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it real quick. I would like to echo Mr. Hampton's comments and Director Hampton's comments, that is, about coming from a great group. We all do great groups, and we're all looking forward to the ABM. The one thing I would mention, if anybody's interested, the app for the ABM has hit, so you can download it for your phone. I don't know if anybody else has used this during the past ABMs, but I find it to be invaluable because I can never keep track of that little piece of paper I get on check-in. So it does do alerts, which are great. So make sure you can actually set it a little early, so you give a heads up where you need to be, when you need to be there. Strongly encourage it. So with that, I hate to echo to say that I need another meeting, but I have to head to the city of Bangor for accessory dwelling unit discussion, which should be riveting. So hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thanks for being here. And yeah, if that hurricane does make its way up there, definitely stay safe, and hope your community stays safe up there. So
I appreciate that, Mr. Chair. Actually, during this meeting, just got an email from my fire chief setting up the EOC already, just in case.
Good.
Have a great day.
All right. Yep. Thanks, Ben. Director Applegate.
Hello, everyone. I also, oddly enough, have to step out to another meeting here in about 15 minutes. Not quite as early, but I will also reiterate what everybody said. I appreciate all the work all of you do. So many active faces, and more than just the BMC, but you all do so much great work. One of the things I did want to mention is Director Bozo is in charge of our committee on assessing the needs of the membership. So we're really encouraging feedback on that, especially our needs kind of moving forward as a member. What does that look like post-COVID, technology, whatever the issues may be, training? If there's things that are really out there, definitely let us know. Also, there's a little bit of an advertising push and letting everyone know that new versions of the 2024 digital codes are out right now for mechanical and plumbing. And so if you get those and you have feedback, please let us know. We have new security tags in there, new formats, all kinds of new changes to try to make the best possible code product in the world. So feedback on that is really appreciated. And I'll leave it at that. I see Director Bozo's on here, so he may have some stuff too. So thanks, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, thanks, Jack. Actually, as long as you brought it up, any idea when IRC or IBC are going to be, 2024 is going to be out?
That's a trick question I wasn't ready for. And I don't think we even have that information yet, but as they come across, there'll definitely be, some advance notice when they're coming out. I think there's definitely a need for testing these first two and seeing how they're performing. Is everything working? Kind of that strategy rather than breaking everything out and finding out we got a total chaos. You know how technology is. So hopefully that answers your question in some way. If I learn more, I'll send it over to you, Ed.
Sounds good. Yeah, sorry for putting you on the spot like that. I figure you guys know all this stuff. You just keep it in your back pocket till you need it. But yeah.
You bet. Hey, this is what we don't get paid for, man.
That's right. I appreciate it, Jack. Thanks. Director McDaniel, I see you got your hand up as well.
I do. I will not be leaving like the rest of them. I'll be on for a little bit longer, but hopefully everybody's been validated. I'll try to answer the question that you had, Ed. So the residential code is always one of the last ones because it's linked to the energy code. So, if there's changes that happen or occur with the energy code, then it would affect the publication of the residential code. So the residential code is always the last one of the documents to tail along with the energy code. So you'll see all the other documents come out in digital code and, the printed books, with the last ones remaining being the residential code, the energy code. So I wish I could give you a date. I don't know. I would love to say by first quarter of the year, but I'm not involved in that process, nor are any of the board of directors in the printing piece of it. But at least that gives you some kind of an idea. But the code format, as Jack had mentioned, it's got some QR code, that kind of stuff in it. You scan it with your phone and it would take you to Digital Codes Premium. It would show you the blue highlighted changes to the code. So there's some neat features to that. Other than that, I'll be around. You guys probably should have received emails by now for those that have ICC certifications. I think this is a 3-year piece where you're going to, by the end of the year, have to renew your certifications. Just kind of a reminder if you haven't already seen those come in. Other than that, thank you for everything that you do, and I'll be here for a little bit if there's any questions.
Excellent. Thanks, Steve. And I should have said too, the only reason I really ask is just, code changes for Group A, they're due January 8th. So yeah, it's nice to have that code kind of in your hand before you start to write some code changes for 2027. But yeah, I totally understand that there's printing and typesetting and all that stuff that go into it, and plus all that work that the energy code is doing right now, or the energy code committee there is working on right now that isn't quite finalized yet. So.
Yeah, we struggle with that here in New York too. We want to make some changes to the residential code, but we have a very short deadline. I mean, that's less than 5 months away. So for the deadline on the changes, so everybody sits anxiously trying to get their changes ready.
Yep. All right, thanks, Steve. Director Roe.
How you doing? Happy to be here, and I will be here for the rest of the meeting. Let me try to answer that question because I'm actually logged in right now into my premium digital subscription, so it has more information about this. So right now, if you actually logged in, you're going to see the IMC, the IPC. In addition, you're going to see that we have the sewage disposal code is already there. The property maintenance code is already there. The swimming pool and spa is there, and the zoning code. Wow. So those are already available through digital subscription 2024. Right next to that, it says officially from ICC. So I'm taking it from the site. The IEBC, the WE code, the ICC PC, and the IBC will be released on or before October 2023. The 2024 IFC will be released on or before the end of November. The IFGC, IRC, IECC, and the IGCC will be released in the first quarter of 2024. So that's officially from ICC on the website. And if you have the digital subscription, you can also see those codes in there. Happy to be here. Happy to answer any questions. I want to see you guys in St. Louis. We're going to have elections. So check out the candidates website. And definitely, it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be a great conference. Looking forward for the keynote speaker and all the networking that we're going to have in there. So hope I can see everybody there and shake hands and spend some time with you guys. Thank you.
And that's another plug for the premium subscription as well. So there you go. You get that information first if you sign up for that. So there you go. Got your sales pitch in there right away. And yeah, and it is good. Then IRC can wait a little bit because that's all Group B, so you get an extra year on that stuff. So. Well, yeah, Andre, I can't call you Director High-End, I guess. Andre, you had your hand up.
Yes, sir. I just had a quick question with the discussion about the ad hoc committee for the relationship with members and, looking into that. I was just curious if there was a formal process that'll be, posted on the website, or should I just blow up Director Boso's email box? It's just idea, or, what's the preferred method for getting some of those out there?
Blow up Boso.
I prefer the in-person method. I like to meet face to face.
Representative.
I will come see you in Ohio then, sir.
We had a meeting yesterday. We did discuss reaching out to the membership councils at the ABM to start at that level and then kind of branch out from there if needed. But we know that your input is important to us, and that's why we want to start there.
Excellent. All right. Any other ICC Board of Directors wishing to have any other comments? Seeing no other hands there. Does anybody have any questions for any of the Board of Directors like Andre just did? All right. Seeing none, we will move on to the ICC Staff Liaison Report. Bill?
Indeed, yeah. Thank you, Ed. And I just wanted to make an impression upon you all. Let me just go back to it. So typically, as I started to do on our agendas, is to provide links, and you can see the link that I'm highlighting there for the recording of the July 12th meeting, and I think down below some more links that you can all access. But typically, let's see, this is the link, and obviously, by the time this was posted, this was not out yet. It was still in August. So if it's available and if I'm late getting it out, then it will be here. If not, it will be here. And this is clearly as we've developed this throughout staff over the last year or so, has been something that is really our go-to document for information that we can all put out to you as GR reps on a wide scale, right? We give links for this to get to digitally, and there's the opportunity to print it. It's really valuable to you to have it at your disposal when need be, when you report out to some of your chapters that you work with and stakeholders and other partners that you work with. That's how we operate, but contains much information on what's happening. I will say that before I forget, one item that is not on here, I don't believe, is, and I don't think anybody's touched on it yet, but there is still a call for committees, for exam development committees, that we want to make sure, I think October 1 is the deadline. So there's still time, and some of those exam development committees are looking for members. And I think Chris McWhite, were you just on a call for that just today, right? So, but there is a call for that. So please keep that in mind. And I'd encourage, as I do with my members here in the Northeast, to look at that as a way to give back and get involved in some small way in the code development, the test development area. That's not on this particular government relations update, but again, much stuff on here as we try to go through. I won't go through every one, but I've tried to copy the same format with links that we have here. Rick Hoffey, who is Emerging Leaders Staff Liaison and also out of the Midwest GR rep, puts this together, and he works hard on it every month. And I hear nothing but good things from our membership, and I like to point to it as often as I can. A lot of what's not on here may be some ABM stuff. There's Stella for the ABM. An awful lot of stuff going on at the ABM that isn't necessarily in here, but good for you to get and share with your membership. So I'll leave it at that. We're going to get into some ABM stuff shortly, but if there are any questions on this or any particular questions that anybody has at this point, I'm glad to answer those, but I wanted to make a point on that, and I'm glad both the directors that were on were able to clarify some of the publication questions surrounding the 2024 codes that are currently available, yes, on Digital Codes premium site, and available shortly in print version in many cases. So yeah, good stuff going forward, but I'll entertain any questions. If not, we can move forward.
All right, thanks, Bill. Anybody have any questions for ICC staff?
Yeah, I believe Gary Gauthier is also on, and Stella has gone, but I don't see any other staff members. But Gary, as you know, is a PMG director, and he's on the call as well.
All right, anybody have any questions for any of them? All right, seeing none, thanks, Bill. We will move on to the ICC Board of Director changes to membership councils. And Bill, I'll let you.
Sure. So yeah, let me. So yeah, this is not a secret to anybody, particularly on this call. But as you all know, the Board of Directors made some changes to the MCs going forward for the coming year. Some of those changes are already in the works. One of them particularly we'll report on shortly is the charter revision group that will report out on that. But generally, I think we all know at this point that some of the items that are pertinent to what we do is that the Major Jurisdictions Committee is now going to be called a Major Jurisdiction Council. They've been upgraded, if you will, or maybe a lateral move as a council, but giving more support in that respect. There is in relation to what Director Boso and Governing Committee member Andre reported on is the membership engagement, but there is a movement, as this came out of the Board of Directors meeting, a new online engagement platform. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I think that's something that's a work in progress, but I'm hearing from other staff that we are actively working on that and making progress on that. That's something that we want to bolster our digital engagement opportunities, as it's been said. We will continue to maintain in-person meetings at the annual conference, and then not at the spring hearings. In case you heard this, there's definitely not reported at the spring hearing. That ICC is now developing, as many of you attended last year, this leadership event in May. So we can count on that for this coming May. I believe that is in Florida, Tom Allen. This year we're down in, we're in your backyard, I believe, Tom.
For the spring hearings are in my backyard for the next 2 years.
That's right.
I haven't heard about the Leadership Academy yet.
Good point. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, so not there, but stay tuned on where that may take place. Let's see. Just yeah, so note that the one change that is still a pretty active work in progress, as you might imagine, is our very active continuity and outreach subcommittee that is made up of chairs and vice chairs and liaisons to and from each of the membership councils. That has evolved over the last 4 or 5 years to be something that has been very valuable, I think, for our membership, for not only the governing committee members here, but also governing committee members across ICC, and frankly, membership beyond that. It's become very valuable, and I think the board has recognized that, and that will become, in some capacity, a new membership council with a new staff liaison. Not exactly sure who or how that's going to take place, but Ron Peaster as our VP of membership is working with staff. I'm working closely with him as is other staff on how exactly this is going to look. So stay tuned on all of that, but I just want to assure that members and people that are engaged with the continuity and outreach group, there'll be an opportunity for you to continue doing so in some capacity with a council that will be made up of likely the leadership positions of each of the now 7 councils that will exist. So keep that on your radar. And that, again, that's probably, you won't hear too much on that beyond the ABM. The idea of us meeting at the ABM, and it's kind of getting a little bit into the ABM updates here, but looking for a scheduling time for any of these groups to meet, our subcommittees, which includes the continuity and outreach, of course, and our raise the profile and best practices and innovation, is going to be challenging. As you can tell, our ABM agenda is chock full again of activities and items. So if we can affect that and find some time and get some board members in to meet with our membership councils under this membership initiative, yes, we'll absolutely make that happen. There will be opportunity beyond that we'll talk about in a second, which will, just kind of it'll all kind of come together. But as far as the changes to the membership councils that came out of the board of directors, just know that staff is working diligently on following their directive and making this happen. If there are any questions, I'm glad to answer those at this time.
All right, and that was probably a lot for everybody, so let that all kind of digest in. But
yes,
does anybody have any questions, thoughts, anything? Obviously, like Bill said, we'll still be working with the board of directors on this, so a lot more to come on some of these initiatives. But does anybody have any thoughts or questions now? All right, seeing none, and I'm sure we'll discuss it a little bit more at the ABM as well. It'll be freshly after the board of directors meeting on Saturday, so we may have a little bit more to update. Not sure at this point.
So if you think that was a lot of information to digest, put your seatbelt on, because here comes the ABM.
Right. All right. We'll take the ABM step by step here. So, Bill, you want to jump through? Well, I guess the first couple here. Obviously ABM is in St. Louis. We'll get into the education, the booth, the dinner, the meetings, and then the elections. But first one on there, the education update. Dan Dockery couldn't make it here today. He had a family issue. I had asked him if he had 5 minutes to send me a little update, but he is swamped, and I did not get that. So I don't know, Bill, you probably haven't heard from him lately on any updates on that, right?
I have not, but there is definitely. I'm just going to see how this works. Works pretty well.
I know it's out there, and yeah,
it's definitely there
on the agenda for it. So
it's right here, Insight session number 4 at the ABM. It's here, and our own Chris McWhite, along with a few others, and Dan moderates. That's the information we have at this point.
And I was going to ask Chris for an update, but I see he's on the phone in his camera there. So,
Allison,
but so these are those insight sessions. I think they're running a few of them at the same time. I think there's some other ones that a few people here, including somebody who has her hand raised, are also kind of running at that same time. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people, but definitely encourage people to attend this one. But Allison, what?
I will resist the urge to plug the one I'm participating in. Dan did have a meeting with Ron, and he did get a presentation to Ron, and I believe they do have a panel together. So it looks like they do have like a presentation of the questions that he had initially sent around, and does have like a panel objectives and things out. I think Ron worked closely with him to get that done. So looks like they're
Excellent.
ready to go, and should be a good session.
Thanks, Allison. And not the best session in your opinion, I get it, but still, yeah, there'll be a lot of very valuable, excellent sessions going on at that same time. And actually, looking through the agenda, it is almost a shame that there are so many really good programs getting run at the same time. But hey, that's what you get at the ABM. You get a lot of great education, a lot of great things going on, and that's why, you know, I'll encourage everybody, bring some more staff with you. Head down to the ABM. Everybody can take a different class, and yeah, if you haven't looked out there at the ABM yet, there are a lot of good programs. The education sessions are out there. There's also one with the American Wood Council that they're doing some mass timber stuff. I would recommend everybody here attend that one as well.
This is definitely a competition for our listening audiences, right? We want to bring in as many as we can. We are competing. There are some great topics, like you said, and so make your shameless plugs now, American Wood Council people, and we'll go from there.
I'll keep plugging the BMC presentation though, not the fantastic American Wood Council presentation. But with that BMC one though, you know, again, this is a topic I think every ABM that I've been at over the last few years here with the BMC GC during our member time, I think almost everyone we've gotten into some sort of discussion about where is that future, where is the next generation of inspectors coming from, how do we reach out, how do we raise the profile, and that's really what the BMC presentation is all about. So if again, go onto the ABM website, check out all the great sessions that are out there, and this one I think is really going to touch on a lot of great topics that we keep hearing every year of issues that people are having. So really excited for that one. All right, and thanks, Allison, for the update on where that one's at. So next up here, the Expo booth update. We've talked about this one a few times. The membership councils have a booth at the Expo. We do need people to man it from every membership council, and Bill sent out an email the other day asking for some volunteers, and I'll turn it over to Bill to kind of give an update on that.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. So without this turning into a everybody wants to volunteer effort, Ron has asked that we find at least one or two definitely committed point people for each MC. So some of you that are connected to the other MCs, please take note that finding a couple that we can definitely count on. In a perfect world, and there's no doubt this will happen, we will have a minimum of two people from at that booth at all times. There are several people on the call here that have already sent in requests, and we've plugged your name in. So whatever your availability is, and knowing how the ABM goes in years past, it's just hard to know what your availability is. So if you commit to it, we ask you to honor it, and that link is out there that all staff liaisons should have shared with each of the chairs and the vice chairs. So I know, Tim, you have your hand up on that. I'm assuming that's where you want to go. But I'll just say that, yes, we won't have an issue filling it out, I'm sure. But, please we just ask you to be committed and honor that commitment when it happens, and try not to get too overzealous and try to attend everything. So yeah, I think it's appropriate. Tim, you can go from there. Ask Tim.
Well, before Tim jumps in, I just wanted to also mention too, we want at least two there, but we certainly can have more.
Yes.
So if you're at even if you're at the expo, if you're at the expo, and you're checking out other stuff and you got some time, stop over at the booth, see if somebody needs a quick break or something too, because I know I'm signed up for several hours, and I think Tom and Elizabeth are as well. So, stop over, see if we need a beer, see if we need a break, anything like that, and take over for 10, 15 minutes for us, even if you can't do, commit to anything longer than that. But
and I'm told we will be strategically located close by the ICC booth so that there can be some interaction there. So we should have pretty good coverage one way or another.
All right. Thanks. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, that was my question, Bill. Basically was, I guess I haven't seen that request come through, and I didn't know if it was sent to the staff who were supposed to filter it down. Of course, Carl was very busy. He's out in Maui right now. So that was my question. If you could kind of make that available.
I will. I'll make sure you get it.
Thank you.
All right, Andre.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be easier to coordinate this, Billy. We could put in a sign-in sheet in the matrix that everyone can just use the same document to put their couple of names in, couple of hours in. I can set that up right now if you want me to.
Well, there is a shared Excel spreadsheet with names on it. So that's the document that was shared with us from Ron, and I think it's best that we work out of Ron's request, and that's not a bad idea. But I think just for the sake of trying not to overburden anybody, plugging in the names that we're plugging in, we're expecting those to be the committed people. And like Ed said, beyond that, it's fair game. I think we can expect to have as many people there at any given time, but people on this chart, Ron will refer to as being the lead for that group. So I'm looking for that now as we speak. It's here somewhere, but I'll get that out to at least the liaisons for sure.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
And I like the idea, Andre. It forces people to go to the matrix and check it out and start using it. So yeah, maybe next year we can start with that. So all right, anybody have any questions on the booth and sort of what we're doing there or anything like that? All right, seeing none. The dinner update, Bill.
Yes, the dinner update. Yes, one of those outstanding items. And as I've been on this call, the staff, Ron Piester has established a staff liaison call relative to the elections, which we'll talk about in a second, and a few other items that he is on his radar. And that meeting is not for a little while yet. So relative to the dinner, the only opportunity we would have for a dinner, a joint membership council dinner, and I can promise you it won't be like what we experienced in Tampa. Respectfully to the Tampa people, it was just a poorly done effort, and that will not happen again. I can guarantee that. Ron would be Monday night. Monday night is the only night that there'd be an opportunity for us to do so. Tuesday being the gala, and Sunday being the opening event. So that would be the only time, Monday. So I need to circle with Ron. Ron has somewhat given me the authority to go out and do this, but I need to touch base with him. But that's the plan, is to do some type of a coordinated dinner for MC governing committee members somewhere in St. Louis at a nice venue for our hardworking governing committee members. How's that?
and we'll have plenty of time after staffing the booth to be able to still attend on Monday, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, it'll likely be 7:30 start dinner. So yes.
Sounds good. If you didn't notice, Bill, Mark also volunteered for an hour on Monday at the booth. Just make sure you check the chat for that.
I will. We had good response, and I think Elizabeth also. I think it's actually you and Elizabeth, and really, I kind of took the first two that came through and confirmed with you both that you would do that. So I think I'll go with that. But again, Mark, I think you're certainly more than welcome to get there and help out.
Perfect.
Um,
All right, moving on then to the ABM agenda with joint membership meetings and all that good stuff. Bill?
Yes, so the joint membership council meeting is scheduled for 8 a.m. Ouch, on Wednesday. Ouch, after the gala. Ouch. Yeah, I know how that, timing is not, it is what it is, folks, right? It's, it is what it is. It's 8 a.m., the joint meeting. That's when the elections will take place. There had been some discussion to potentially do this electronically prior to the ABM, but that does not appear to be in the making this year. We'd like to transition to an electronic electronic elections, but I'm not exactly sure what Ron has planned for the 8 a.m. But I have encouraged him to provide food and coffee, so that some of us that just roll in an hour or two earlier and maybe get an hour or two sleep and that particular evening before and early morning have something to get into their bellies. So we're still working on that. It's on our radar, and we will have more information to follow. But 8 a.m. is the joint meeting, and then 9 a.m. is our all of the other membership councils will meet. We're scheduled to meet from 9 to 11, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happens obviously after our meetings that we can talk about. So that agenda is developing as we speak, and it'll be a lot of reporting out and getting up to speed on different things. But that's where the agenda stands right now for the ABM.
Excellent, thank you. And yeah, I actually thought about driving back home out of St. Louis right after the meeting, but yeah, after thinking about the early start, that's I'm gonna spend an extra night down there and sleep in. But and sounds like a lot of waffle votes in the chat here. So all right, thanks everybody for that. And then keep in mind too, that is Central Standard Time for all of you East Coasters. So that's even an extra hour earlier for you guys. That's actually it'll feel like 7 a.m. for you guys. But all right, and then the BMC GC elections. Bill?
Okay, so yeah, so for those that are new or regardless, it's pretty black and white on how the election process works for us. We form a nominating committee made up of any member who is not terming off or is not up for re-election. So that leaves us with X amount of members. There are 3 of our members who are eligible for reappointment: Andre, Robin, and Doug Wise. Robin Yoakum, Andre Hyen, Robin Yoakum, Doug Wise. And we have 3 members that are terming off. Audrey Klein, she's actually resigned, if you recall. Dan Dockery's terming off, and Jim Williamette is terming off. So we have a little bit of work to do to replace at least, and we have at least 4, likely 5, potentially new members here coming onto the BMC. The call for committees, if you were on earlier, we chatted about that briefly. Staff liaisons just got access to the applications late yesterday, and right before this meeting, I was pouring through them, and I'm happy to report that there are 27. Actually, sorry, there's 31 people who have expressed an interest in being on the governing committee for the BMC. 27 of them have indicated that the BMC is their first choice. If you know how that goes, you check off what your preference is. And so 27 have a preference to be on the BMC. So again, this nominating committee, which just for the record quickly here, is Ed, Mark, Tom Allen, Elizabeth, Brian Bishop, Andy Higgins, Rachel Parrish, Chris McWhite, and Amarinda Singh. I am holding the document that I sent out every year that I need to fill in with the new applicants that I just received. And then you'll all get access to those applications and do a review on your own, and we'll pull together a meeting, a nominating committee meeting sooner rather than later. So, watch your inbox. Probably not until Friday or Monday. You will receive that link, that spreadsheet with the potential applicants, and it'll be self-explanatory in this document on the process. But it's good to know that there's 27 people that consider this a priority. So that's good. Just to be clear, the people who are up for reappointment, and good question I didn't see a couple of names on there if they've actually put their name in, and I don't think they have. So we go through this every year. Do they need to reapply? The answer is yes, they need to put the application in. But they are typically given consideration if they would like to serve another term. So I need to work on that. But again, I'm just getting this. I just was working on it right before this meeting. But we are heading in a direction of having at least 4, likely 5 new members of the BMC governing committee come January of 2024. So questions on that? I'm glad to answer the best I can.
3 or 4, you're saying? You keep saying 4 or 5, 3 or 4, right?
Well, there's definitely 3 that we need to replace.
Yes.
And
there's potentially one who may not be with us due to other possible election commitments.
Right. And then there's one that we need to replace. We had a vacant spot previously, so there's likely 4 people that we will need to replace.
Yeah. And out of 27, I mean, that's, again, that's just a testament to the great work that we're doing here. Testament to, all the hard work that we're putting in. But, I also want to, if anybody who applied, I haven't seen the list of names, so I don't know if any of those applicants are on the call today, but, again, 27 applicants who want to come here for sure for 3 or 4 openings. So if you don't make it in, definitely, it's not a reflection on you. It's we have a lot of really good, I'm sure, quality candidates in there. And I would encourage everybody, if you don't get in this time, keep trying again next time. And just thank you for your interest, for anybody who did apply. I think that's fantastic. I'm sure, a few people remember, I think one of my first nominating committees was, I think we had 4 openings and we had 5 people apply. So it's definitely been coming around lately, and our subcommittees, if you don't get in this time around, definitely jump onto one of our subcommittees, help us out there, get your name out there, make yourself a valuable member of the team, even if you're not on the governing committee, and that's really the best way to get yourself in. So anybody have any questions on any of that stuff, on the nominating committee, on sort of the process moving forward? Like Bill said, it'll be out pretty soon here. We'll get everybody a little bit of info on it. So anybody have any questions though while we're on that topic? All right, seeing none. Anybody have any other thoughts, comments, questions on the ABM at all before we jump off of that and go on to subcommittees? All right, everybody's excited. All right, go ahead.
Before I forget, as I look down my list, we did have another staff person on the call that I neglected, and happens to be my direct report, Tim Schmidt, GR rep. Apologies to my direct report, Tim Schmidt, but he's on the call as well.
He's from Illinois. We can ignore him. And that's using the best language that I possibly can on a public meeting like this. So he knows I love him. That's all right. Those Cubs fans. He's not even listening.
That makes one of us.
Oh, I'm listening, Mr. Lisinski. I'm listening.
Appreciate you being here, Tim. All right, let's move on then to the subcommittee reports and raise the profile. We had a meeting. I'll kick this over to Amrinder and Elizabeth to give an update there.
Yes, so we had a meeting last month and about 15 people attended, so I appreciate everybody that attended. we are reestablishing our email role for that. And so if you'd like to be included on the emails for the raising the profile, just drop your name in the chat and we can get you going on that. We do have a few projects that we're working on. And so if you're not plugged in anywhere else, we could use some help and input there. One of the big projects we're working on now is this participation survey, getting it ready for the ABM. And so after I'm done talking, I'm actually going to drop a few questions into the chat, and I'd like for you to provide an answer to those so that we can narrow down the top answers from the governing or from this meeting to really improve our survey. And the goal of the survey is to identify barriers to participation in the membership councils so that once we get that information, we can attempt to help people participate more and better and have better participation. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes. I would like to have a meeting in not next week, but the following week before the ABM, just to type a few loose ends and then to discuss the projects further so that we're ready for the ABM. And then, yep. So again, I'm going to drop those questions in the chat if you don't mind to answer them to help us out. I'd appreciate it. Miranda, do you have anything?
Nope, thank you. I appreciate it. You covered everything.
Elizabeth, do you want people to answer in the chat, or do you want them to reach out to you afterwards with some answers?
Either way, I'll put my email if you'd prefer to email. I'm only going to do a couple questions. Right now, it's going to be a 10-minute, no, not 10 minutes, I'm sorry, a 10-question survey, and it should take about 2 minutes to finish. And we're going to encourage people to complete that at the membership booth at the expo. So that's the avenue of getting people to complete the survey. It'll be a QR code that you can pull up on your phone, and it should take 2 minutes to do while you're standing there. So, okay. Are there any questions for me?
I don't see anybody with any hands raised, but I do see you've got a couple people in the chat that are willing to help out. So I think you found a few extra members here. All right. Anybody have any thoughts, questions on raise the profile before we move on? All right. And again, yeah, thanks for getting that one started up again to both of you. Having a meeting, scheduling another meeting, that's the start that we needed. So I appreciate both of your hard work on this. Next up, Best Practices and Innovation Subcommittee. Chris?
All right, we're innovating all day. I've had some good conversation. Actually, what I want to start off with is the last time I was on here, I did get some responses from some people in here, and I lost the emails. It's not like me, but I have been really buried in here recently, so I apologize for having lost the emails. For the people that did respond to me to want to offer some assistance in how to resolve these issues, that we're working with a BPI. But what we were talking about was trying to come up with some better ideas on how people can get those best practices out and innovation ideas out there without having to reinvent the wheel. Most people don't go to the ICC webpage. For that, they try to figure it out themselves, or they talk to a friend, that kind of thing. I bounced an idea off of Bill Nash not long ago, and he seemed receptive to the idea, and I wanted to put it out here into the group and see what y'all thought about it. There are Reddit pages, Reddit subreddit pages where people put questions all the time, and they have, and it's a very active and lively area that most people have on their phone right now as an app, or they use it just because they're a geek about something, whatever it is, fountain pens, paper, something. So I was curious what y'all thought, if that's something we wanted to explore as a possibility for sharing ideas in an already built an already built platform that ICC could take advantage of for sharing best practices and innovations across the code world.
So, yeah, sounds definitely like a possibility. I think, also, I don't know if Andre's new matrix format, if that's something too that could, almost be shared publicly as well in term. But yeah, I get the point of Reddit though, where everybody's used to that site and everybody's been out there and using it. So yeah, I think maybe some more exploration there, I think would be a great thing. But I'll open that up to if anybody has any other thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know enough about it to know whether it is a viable option. I just know that for the things that I'm interested in, Reddit seems to have an answer for almost everything. But Mark, I think you had an answer, a thought.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to reiterate that's a cool idea. That really is a good idea. There's there's actually documents from, if you look at journals, you look at the I don't know, Fortune magazine and the Wall Street, not Wall Street, but any of the big journals, that when they talk about ways to find information, you Google it and then you Reddit it, right? And so I think that is a good avenue. I think there's some detail that needs to be vetted out as to what that looks like. But that's a great resource.
Okay. So if that is something that we can at least explore and look into, I could when the people who already responded to me again, and I'm sorry to ask that. Like I said, I've been running a little bit crazy around here. It would be helpful if you could just let me know if you have any knowledge on how to build a Reddit, I guess I'll call it a page, on how to do that, so that can be put, something could be put out there for ICC to look at as a way to share information across the ICC peoples. That's where we are right now.
Excellent, thank you. Anybody have any thoughts, questions, anything for Chris? And I will put in another plug again. You'll notice all of our other subcommittees, we have two co-chairs or thing, two chairs running each of those, and Chris has been keeping this one afloat without Audrey for a few months now. So I appreciate Chris, but again, at the ABM, we definitely want to assign somebody to help out Chris moving forward here. So we have another person on that one. So, if you are interested, definitely reach out and let me know. And Chris could definitely use another hand there and another person at the top. So not that Chris is not cutting his weight or doing anything bad here, but just it's good to share that burden of a subcommittee. So. All right, anybody have any thoughts, questions on that committee? All right, seeing none. And and no matter how much time we put into these meetings, we always seem to run out here at the end. So this is my plug for the last 7 or 8 minutes here of the meeting to keep them quick and keep them moving here. But we'll jump on to the continuity and outreach. Tim and Andre.
Yes, sir. So I guess we'll just jump in and say that we've been working on the charter review pretty substantially. And yeah, as you pointed out earlier in the meeting, there's clearly a high level sort of look onto, how are we governing ourselves? What's working for us? What can we, take a look at that we might want to change or refocus on? I think we found some really good traction already existing in policy rather than having to kind of shoot from the hip ourselves. So we're really trying to focus in on what the intention of the membership councils are from a policy level, and try and make sure that gets really well integrated into the charter documents to make sure that that's reflected. So I'll definitely turn that over to Allison, who's handled actually putting together all of that. But all I can say is that I think the work from the committee has been going really well, and we've had a lot of great discussions about what makes us both important to the membership and simultaneously how we all coordinate with each other. Otherwise, the Vote for Your Codes initiative was another item from last time I spoke that we wanted a brief update on. We had a meeting for that about 4 weeks ago. And meeting went very well. We actually got to cancel some remaining ones because we got a good idea together of what the next actions are going to be moving forward for getting that started up again in this off year between code hearings. So we'll be out in force with some merch and things like that and some other items, and sort of a game plan being put together for like a formalized sort of procedure, so that way we know how to better interact with staff and kind of make sure some things get done over the course of the year. And then lastly, to update everyone on the matrix, if you don't mind me stealing the screen for a second. For those of you that haven't seen this, I know it came up earlier about the concept of like a digital platform to be able to have improved, I think maybe project coordination or improved digital presence between membership councils. And this could really definitely be a part of that, I think. Finding ways to be able to coordinate projects between each other has been huge. You can see here that we're getting a more and more expansive list as we sit in on meetings and make sure these items get sort of filled in as they come up through the year. And then this also works nicely because next year we can audit it for a playbook of when things started and who to contact for what things, and in what order things occurred, and maybe what shut down or what got left last year that we can pick up again next year. But you can see a nice look for all of these items. Say for instance, vote for your codes. You can see all the stuff that we've been working on, stuff that we want to come back to, or stuff that just isn't quite in the air yet. And I just think that this could be a much more viable solution towards some of these projects and making sure that they get done. I've tried to note everything from this meeting as well and make sure it makes it on there in some capacity or another. And I've been doing that for probably the last 4 months, 6 months since we kind of got this built. So I think at a high level, that's all I've got for everyone. I'm really open to questions. And Tim obviously has been a huge partner from Fire Service Membership Council in making sure that we're on the right track for the charter review, and really helpful for just making sure all this stuff has come to fruition. So Tim, if there's anything you'd like to add.
No, I was just going to piggyback on what this and the matrix, and really that's one of the things I want to try to push out to our liaisons as well as our chairs and vice chairs and get them a little bit more active. You can see the fire service. I've already invited a few people. Our public awareness is becoming active again, and including them into this list so that we can push out the information that we have to everybody. And that's really what this is designed to do and help us with. Of course, the next meeting was scheduled to be when we're at ABM. So I think maybe after ABM, we'll look at having another short meeting to try to revisit this, catch up on some items, and follow through on what does happen at the ABM.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Anybody have any questions for the continuity and outreach team? All right, seeing none. We'll jump into membership council liaison reports, and I know Kevin had to jump off. First one up is ELMC, and Allison, if you want to give a 30-second to 1 minute update on ELMC activities.
Sounds good. Our Trailblazer Award went to Sylvia Gonzalez. She's an excellent representative of what we're looking for bringing new people into the industry and for really training people, supporting people. So we're super excited that she received that. We thought in that case, that's a reward an award that's worked out really well to highlight folks. The Wicked and Permit Technician events, which are the volunteer events on Saturday and Sunday, still need about 20 volunteers. I know I'll be doing it and a few other folks will. They have both build sites and habitat, like store sites that they still need staffing on. So if you're like me and busted up your knee pretty good and you don't want to run around a construction site that weekend, you still have a store option to go to where you can still volunteer. We've already covered the charter and vote for your code updates. ELMC is really happy with those and think that those are progressing, and we're hoping after this meeting that we can bring some of the vote for codes like this game plan to everybody and reinvigorate where we were a couple of years ago before COVID, where all the membership councils were participating in that in some capacity or another, and really get this next code cycle underway in a good way and get that participation up. I also want to plug, thank you so much to ICC staff. Ron and a few others have been fabulous at finding resources we already have, like finding out whether you're a validated voter or who the validated voters for your jurisdiction are, which I couldn't figure out for the life of me since it'd been like 4 years since I'd done it. So just want to plug some of that out there, and we'll be putting more resources out coming up here. So thanks.
Excellent. Thank you. And you said something that made me think of something that I was going to bring up, and now I totally forgot what it was as you were talking. So I don't know. Maybe
Buy
it'll come back to me.
t-shirts. You can still buy t-shirts, I think.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, no, it was the Permit Tech Nation and Wicked. I think one of the options too is just, I think they're painting some rooms for veterans. You know, so there are some lower impact ones as well, similar to the store like Allison mentioned. So yeah, they have several different options for volunteers this year. So definitely great program there. And if I wasn't busy, I'd be there as well. But all right, Fire Service Membership Council, Tim and let's see. Yeah, well, Tim, I think you're it. I think Christine was here and then she had to jump off.
Yeah, Christine had to jump. Tom had to go on the fire alarm.
Yeah.
They just real quick, fire services meeting next week, the 18th. I couldn't find my list of speakers for it, so I'm not sure who it is, but I know there's one scheduled. We're doing the same thing you all are with the committees, the call for committees, so we'll be raising ours. I know that we have a few openings coming up, and looking at the quick list, I think we don't have as many as you all do for building, but we have a fair number of applicants for the fire service. So other than that, hopefully I'll see everybody in St. Louis.
All right, thanks, Tim. And let's see, up next, Global. I don't think there's anybody here from Global other than, yeah, Andy,
yeah, I think
if you wanna,
technically
yeah.
I am, but I've only been to one meeting, and then they haven't had a meeting since our last get together. I think the next one's scheduled for end of October, I think the 31st. So hopefully we'll have an update after that.
Excellent, thank you. Major jurisdictions, Sam, Jim Williamette can't make it, so Sam, you're on.
Yeah, we haven't had a meeting in several months now, but we're preparing the agenda, and we're hopefully going to have some sort of a joint meeting with you all up there. So looking forward to meet everybody in St. Louis.
Excellent, thank you. Which is a major jurisdiction, so there you go.
Yep,
we're right there. Yeah, thanks, Sam. PMG, Gary, are you gonna update on that one?
Sure, I can speak real brief. I just want to say hello to everybody. And I know in St. Louis, everybody has a busy agenda. As you all know, we have our membership council meeting there as well. We're starting a little bit later. We're going to start at 9. So those of you who finish up early, please step on by. We've got a lot on our agenda. We're covering a lot, and we're focusing next couple of months on hydrogen. So for those of you out there who want to get some information in the PMG realm, love to have you. Look forward to seeing you all. Thanks.
Excellent, thank you. And sustainability. Let's see, Brian had to jump off. I don't see anybody from sustainability here, so I think that's it. Anybody have anything else from any other membership councils that they wanted to bring up or discuss? All right, seeing, hearing none. Bill, you turned your camera back on. Did you have something to bring up, or can I wrap this up?
You can wrap it up.
All right. And we're only 3 minutes over, so that's pretty good. Closing thoughts again, just, hey, it's going to be great to see everybody. We say it every time, but we can do the Zoom meetings and it's great, but at the same time, being in the same room with y'all and being able to shake hands and look you in the eye and have some side conversations, some networking, share some ideas, all that stuff. It's great to just get together and laugh with each other and everything. So looking forward to that again. All right, so again, yeah, next meeting will be at the ABM, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central.
Yes, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. Correct. Thank you for pointing that out. That's wrong. Yes.
Yep. So, so actually, yeah. So 8 Yeah, well, 8 a.m. Central is the joint meeting. 9 a.m. Central is our BMC meeting. So
I will correct that. Yes.
when you guys get out there, make sure make sure you coordinate your watch.
I did change the meeting invite, so those of you that have replied, it did get changed in the on your calendar.
Yep. All right. Anybody else wanted to bring forward to the good of the order here? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So
Anyone?
So moved.
All right. I'll take that as a move in a second. Any opposed? I don't think we have to. All right. Hearing nobody opposed, I will take that to mean everybody else is in favor. So, all right. See you, everybody. Thanks again for taking some time out of your day, and look forward to seeing everybody in another month.
Take care,
Safe
everyone.
travels, everybody. Take care.
Enjoy the day. Thanks all.
See ya.